Altrincham are through to the quarterfinals of the FA Trophy for the first time since 1995 after a 3-1 win here at Bracknell Town and with Phil Parkinson. Phil, we got the result that we wanted, but what was your assessment of your side's performance today?
I think you've said it there in terms of we've got the result. We knew we'd come Tuesday and we knew they'd be a really up for it team on the front foot. The pitch doesn't allow you to play the way we want to play, but it's still no excuse. I felt performance-wise, I've stood in front of you loads of times when we've lost, and I think the performances have been superb. Performance-wise, on the ball, was nowhere near the levels that I'd expect us to be. The bit I'll give them credit for is they're in the hat for the next round and they've defended really well, and that's what we've got to be. Everyone can see we're a team in transition with what we've lost. So to have you go from a game like Wrexham to come here, it's all about getting through, and the lads have.
I guess it's fairly unusual for us to be the Goliaths against the Davids in these sorts of situations in the National League. Was there an element to it being difficult for your team to play that role of the big boys for once?
No, I think we normally, it doesn't matter who we're playing, we normally dominate the game possession-wise, but listen, we've got lots of new players, they're finding the feet. I could go to town on them and say how disappointed I am, but I think that would be extremely harsh knowing the conditions of the pitch here. It's difficult to play. I did feel we give up on it though, because we weren't playing well, and the bit that you've got to give them credit for, the bit that we get questioned about probably sometimes is game management. So from a game management point of view, it's not always about what we do on the ball. We've got to be able to do them bits off the ball, and I felt that's probably what we did very well today. But on the ball, there's so much more to come from the group, and it will only get better.
We got a real bonus of an early goal. Perhaps the Bracknell goalkeeper will feel he should have saved it, but great for Tyrese Sinclair to get off the mark in an Altrincham shirt, and he did well to create the opening for himself.
Absolutely, he did ever so well to break through. Tyrese got great energy, great pace. He's got to work on his final bit of his game. Even though he scored there, that's the bit he's got to do a bit better with. So finding that pass, or finding the way to, or when to take a shot, and he did that in that moment. And there's loads of great tools that we'll be able to work with Tyrese, and you saw one of them today.
A big passage of play in the game was just before we got the second goal, where Bracknell had a shot which struck the underside of the bar, bounced down. There's some evidence I've seen a photo which makes it look as if it may have got over the line. I don't know what from your perspective whether you could tell, but we might have got a bit of fortune there, do you think? Yeah,
but you need a bit of fortune, don't you? So we've not had much luck this season, so maybe that was Lady Luck actually giving us a little bit. It's so hard to tell from where I am. If there's evidence to suggest it's in, then they'll feel really hard done to, and it was a great strike from the lad, wasn't it? We should have got more pressure on it. But then Jordan Humes missed an absolute one-on-one, which I don't remember them having any one-on-one. So we've probably had the better clear-cut chances. They've had the pressure and the territory. But I think our quality in front of goal probably told in the end.
And speaking of Jordan, that second goal, really important. And he'll like getting a centre-forward's goal like that, sniffing around in the 6-yard box. And actually, I thought on set pieces, they obviously had a lot of long throws, a lot of balls in. But we defended brilliant well, but we also did look like dangerous on the set pieces, and we got the goal from the corner, the second goal.
Yeah, well, we give the lads probably more information than what we work on them, to be fair, because obviously you risk getting injured when you're doing set pieces, collisions, etc., unless you do them unopposed, and it's unrealistic. So the lads get a lot of good information, we go through it, and I feel we're getting the benefits of that offensively and defensively. In our level, in the division we're playing in, teams are excellent at set pieces, so now and again, not just us, all teams will concede set pieces, but we're looking like we're going to score from set pieces as well.
It always felt in the second half a game where if Bracknell could get a goal, it might make things difficult for us. They did get a goal, a little bit of a slightly sort of fortuitous the way it came about, but you've touched on this already, how we actually defended the penalty area, and I want to pick out particularly James Jones and Lewis Baines. They've won so many headers, won so many challenges, and actually Ollie Byrne's not had a massive amount to do because they were so strong in front of him.
Exactly, that's what I said, didn't I? I felt the big positive I'll take is how well we've defended against a team that do that really well. They apply pressure really, really well. Their front four would hold their own in probably our division. I think they've got some really talented talented front players. But again, like you said, it's one of them games where they're going to be able to raise it because they're playing us, and we had to deal with that. And you can come out the wrong end of it. It didn't matter what we did today. This was a banana skin for us. If we win, we should win. If we don't play well and win, that's something to be critical of. So we're in a hiding to nothing today. It was a great opportunity to go through. We have, and that's what we'll take from it.
And it was nice to get that third goal at the end. It made the closing minutes a bit more comfortable, and it came from an excellent bit of play from Maxi Oyedele, who I thought all three substitutes contributed really positively. You must be pleased with how they've helped us to see the game out in that way.
Well, that's what we've got to be. We're not a massive squad. You could see we didn't have the full quota of substitutes because we've got two who are cup tied in Michael Gayassi and Regan Linney, so they'll come back in on Tuesday. But it's so important that they come on and contribute. Everybody's got to do it. We're all in it together, and more so now than ever with what we've lost over the last month. It's so important that when people are called upon, they're contributing.
I just want to end the interview just by touching on, it's been a very difficult week for Altrincham fans with the death of John King. I don't know how much, Phil, you knew about John King before you came here, but I'm sure you'd have learned much more. Quite simply, one of the greatest figures in the history of Altrincham Football Club, and it's fantastic. It's a nice way to end that week, to get a win, particularly in the FA Trophy, a competition that he's so associated with. Captained us in 78, managed us in 86, and as I say, a difficult week for Altrincham fans, but a nice thing to come at the end of that.
Absolutely. I mean, it should fit in that a game like that. He was a warrior, wasn't he? And we put in a warrior type performance. But before we do end the interview, I don't feel I've given Bracknell enough credit. I thought they were absolutely outstanding today. I think they've done ever so well to make us play the way we have today. So you've got to give them so much credit. The management team are doing a great job. They've got them thoroughly motivated. They buy into what they're doing. And I think they'll go on and get promoted out of that division from what I've seen. So good luck to them, and they give us a right good game today.
OK, well, I'll sneak one more question in if I can. Obviously, a busy run of fixtures now coming up. Presumably, part of what we have to do now is the draw for the quarter-final is on Monday. We have to park that because it's a month away, and we've got a very busy programme coming up. We've
got 2 months of Saturday, Tuesdays, haven't we? So it's going to be really tough. We'll be tested to the maximum. We're thin in certain areas, particularly defence. Yeah, it'll be really, really hard for us, and we just need, as I said so many times, we need the Alty faithful to do what they've done today, get behind us. It's not always going to be plain sailing. Everyone knows what we've lost and how tough it's going to be. But listen, the lads will give everything. We'll get better. We'll improve our in-possession play, and we need to get some positive results sooner rather than later in the league, don't we?